Hello and welcome to another episode of the Magic Hour. I'm your host, MagicLeb, aka MagicLeb. Be sure to follow me on my Instagram at Fame Film Agency and hit the subscribe button on my YouTube at MagicLeb. Today, I have with me a multi-award-winning actor, clown, honk honk, comedy man, virtuoso by the name of Casey Filips. Please welcome. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Clown.
Yeah.
Did you wake up and watch it and be like, I gotta be a clown?
Yeah, no, that's terrifying, that film. And that's what a lot of people think clown is. But I was an actor for about 10 years.
Yes.
And then I wanted to do some further training. And then I was considering going to this Parisian clown school. And then or go to America to train, do some more training. And it wasn't until I met someone who I thought was incredible as an actor. And Jill said, "Where did you go?" And she went, "Oh, this Parisian clown school."
Okay.
And then so I went, okay, I went. And that was when I went to Gaulier.
Philippe Gaulier.
Yeah.
That's where you studied with the famous clown.
Yes. Yeah.
In Paris?
Yeah. And he's famous for all of his insults.
Insults?
Yeah.
Like verbal?
Yeah, verbal and like sort of, yes. Have you heard much about him?
I can't say that. I've done a bit of research on him because I was doing research on you.
Oh, right.
And he influenced you in the physical absurdness of your comedy, obviously, the style of comedy.
Yeah.
And so I had no idea he was also a roast master.
Yeah. Oh, he's an absolute roast master.
Yeah.
So you'd come in and the first thing he would do, he'd line everyone up in like a lineup and be like, he's kind of like this like old, when I was with him, he was probably like late 70s. And
really?
Yeah. He just passed away like about a month ago, actually.
Oh no!
So yeah, we're all poorer for it. But
rest in peace, Felipe.
Yeah. But he left behind so many incredible students, I think. So it's quite a lineage he's left. Anyway, he'd line everyone up against essentially a wall. It reminded me of primary school. But instead of picking you for your five-a-side soccer team, you just go, okay, now you have to sing a song, and singing a song in front of a room full of strangers on your own is terrifying.
Oh, obviously, unless you're really talented.
Singing is your thing, right? And a lot of us are just, actors or whatever. Anyway, you'd start singing and he'd just be like, "It was so terrible," and he'd just launch into you. And the whole time you're there, he's just sort of being like, "You're so bad." And like for me, he used to call me the Melbourne wanker.
Okay, was that his way of encouraging and motivating, or is he just being a prick for no reason?
No. I think some people think he's only being a prick, but for me, he always had the insult and then a bit of like a golden nugget, like a technical note underneath, which is really important. I think he sort of takes away your ego with the insult, but then he'd always be like, he's like a truck. He comes out, blah, 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 I'm so heavy. But then the technical note underneath there is like, be light on your feet.
So it must have been one hell of an experience then.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah. So good I went back again because COVID chopped off my experience. I was there for 3 months and COVID happened.
2020.
Yeah. And then that was terrible, obviously, COVID. But then came back in 2023 because I thought, you know what, he's getting much older and this might be one of the last classes he ever teaches. Right. So I went back for 6 months in 2023. And that was sort of like the transition from doing stand-up into actually pursuing clown as a...
Wow. So what's the one thing that you feel you could take most away from Felipe?
I think just... It's going to sound so corny, but just like having fun. And it's so easy to forget when we're doing comedy is that I think we're just kind of like hosting and facilitating a party for everyone else to join in. And I think if you've ever been to a party and then the host is walking around going, "I'm so sorry the spring rolls aren't ready. Oh my God, No, I'm so sorry. No, the shoes off, oh. They're like worried about themselves. Yeah. But if you can host a party that everyone can get into, that's all we're doing, I think. Yeah, it's like almost like the people's experience rather than your own. And he was very good at bringing you out of yourself and making it about everyone else.
Okay. May you rest in peace.
Yeah.
Now, congratulations. I saw you last night on Instagram after I had just written everything about you that you won an Adelaide Fringe Award.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of that. After I wrote all this down, something else comes to mind that I didn't put, so I had to keep a mental note. Congratulations. How does one win an Adelaide Fringe Award?
I don't know.
Was that because your show was sold more tickets, or you were talked about the most, or because you're white? I mean, I need to know how it works. But I just saw you with the plaque And I
Yeah.
was like, man, this guy, I'm so glad I booked this dude. All right.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I think a bit of everything of all of the above.
Yeah, I'm
didn't-
sure the whiteness has got
the whiteness has got to be something, right? Yeah. No, but I came up with a couple of characters just under my belt, and I really wanted to try them out. Did a few work in progresses last year, and then drove up just being like, I'm going to keep, even though it's not billed as a work in progress, I just want to keep just chucking in characters and taking out the ones that don't work or whatever. And across the week, judges started coming. They were popping up on little
judges.
So there are judges who are floating around, and they so then
So
one
judges never
came,
see shows.
and then they go back and they talk to the rest of the judges and they go, this
But
is
you don't know
all
they're
right.
there, obviously.
Well, because I'm an independent artist, I have to put all the tickets through on the ticketing machine. So like on the interface, so then I can see when they are coming, which is also I'd rather not know.
Yeah. I think it's better not to know.
Yeah.
Because you probably it might interfere with your performance and probably kind of ruin the mood, the vibe that you have.
Exactly.
You want to perform for a crowd. Now you're performing for a critic.
Yes.
Kind of thing. You don't want that.
Or you're performing to the crowd and one person who you like, it's in the back of your mind that there's one person in here is the the judge, and you don't know who it is. And if you're playing like kind of comedic whodunit in the middle of your show, you're not really being present. So
have you ever been married?
have I ever been
Are
married?
you married or have you ever been?
No,
So
no.
because if you're married, then you can pick a judgmental face immediately. You'll have that skill.
Right, yeah.
So I can tell judgy people from a mile away. Okay. Now, your show name that you performed here in Adelaide is called What a Character?
Yeah.
That's what you done? How many characters do you play?
I think we've got about 6.
6?
And then what we've done is the first night I went to go through all 6 and we got through about 3 because we were having so much fun with just the 3 that we got to at that point.
As a filmmaker, I'm screaming to want to film like a Nutty Professor type thing with you at a dinner table or something.
Oh, that'd be sick.
So you could do all 6 characters.
Yeah.
That would just be so fun to do. Because I just can't. That's what I'm thinking about when you said 6. Damn.
Yeah.
You either play 6 characters or you have a multi-personality disorder.
Yeah. Well, a bit of both. Again, all the above seems to be the theme of the podcast so far.
All right, cool. So you ever out on a date and goes, man, touch your tits. No, shut up. No.
Yeah. No, not quite.
No. Okay. So one man, multiple characters. Where did these characters come from? Who are they?
They're kind of, I originally wanted to write a piece on like masculinity and just all the men I've seen over the journey who are not quite sure of themselves and then project that onto others, but in a fun way. Mm-hmm. But then I thought, you know what, let's just take that away and just write something that we just think is the most fun thing we can come up with.
Yeah.
Because again, like Philippe, we were talking about before, it's just like, are you making us laugh? Because it's for us. We need to laugh. Don't worry about being clever.
Yeah.
So I abandoned that. And then funnily enough, just went with a bouncer character, a spy, which I've always loved the sort of James Bond films as almost like spoofs of themselves.
Like Clouseau.
Yeah, this kind of thing. And even just like someone like the Roger Moore ones where he's like late 50s and he's like, chatting up 20-year-olds. It's just ridiculous. I love that. And then we also had like an AI robot who'd come in and he's like trying to work out how to do stand-up, but like he just can't get past the initial stages of like interactions, even though he learns in real time, but he takes the things that people are saying too literally and then he runs off and tries to learn and improve that way. So like whatever everyone says, we go with an alternate route that people didn't really mean.
Yeah.
What else we got? We have St. Peter at the gates, the pearly gates near the end. He's got a lisp though, a speech impediment, which is fun.
I can relate to that. I had a massive. I still do have a bit of a lisp, but when I was a teenager, it was very obvious.
Oh right,
yeah. I tried for years. When you say the S, make sure the tongue is behind your teeth, and I was like, that's impossible.
Oh no,
I couldn't do it. But I still have a lisp. It's just not as obvious as it was before. But continue.
Yeah,
okay,
right. Yeah. Well, I just find it so endearing. Like one of my family members growing up had a speech impediment as well, and it was just like it was so unique to them. And I think like I think you get to see people's humanity when they're most vulnerable, and something like that can really bring you out. So the idea of having this guy who's at the pearly gates and he's giving everyone a second chance because the audience has died at this point. So he's like, all right, I'm going to send you back down to earth. But then he wants to do a pump up speech. When you get back down there, be better people. But because of his lisp, he keeps all the words keep changing meaning, and they will go from being something quite earnest and lovely to actually like something that's, you know, not the greatest message, but he doesn't know, and he's earnestly trying to just get a message across.
All right, that's really cool.
So yeah, a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And like those are things that we just like discovered over the course of the week doing the show. I drove up to Adelaide not having that character, but then I don't know, about day 3 of doing it in the show, I was like, I want to wrap it back around. I want to find something. And then I just had this Jesus costume, and I was like, well, we may as well put that on and see how that goes. And yeah, improv'd it on the night. The judges were in. They loved it.
Okay.
I thought this is great. We'll keep working on this for Melbourne. And
Sweet.
yeah.
You played Jesus.
Yeah, I played Jesus in a mate's show last year.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, fine. I won't do it. I won't play Muhammad. I think that would be more. I think that would be a big no-no.
We could do a double act.
You know, maybe. You know what? I'm sure I can get away with playing the representative of Muhammad.
Yes, right.
Not
Yeah.
Muhammad himself.
An advocate.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I think I'll be able to get away with it where the people in Netherlands won't throw a riot. You know? So if somebody can get upset with a painting or a drawing, I'm sure they're going to get upset with that.
Yeah.
But no, that's really cool because I did comedy when I was in Bahrain.
Oh, nice.
You know, I was living in the Gulf, and I did it during the COVID when it started. Because I figured, you know, when the worst thing's happening, now it's time to do the best thing you can do. You know, try to alleviate and balance the situation. And one of the things that I asked about, what are the rules of comedy here in Bahrain? That you can make fun of anything and everyone, to stay away from the politics of the country that you're living in, and the religion.
Yep.
All right, they were the only 2 rules. Like he said, like, when I say religion, I mean Muhammad.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? That's basically it. You know, like, okay, so you can make fun of them fasting or whatever, and the effects that it has or the effects it doesn't have. Keep it tasteful.
Yeah,
it'll be
course.
fun.
Yeah.
You know, you are in a Muslim country after all. Yeah, and that was cool. And I was like, okay, fine, and stay away from like real I don't know, stay away from jokes about rape and things like that.
Oh yeah,
like,
always a good rule of thumb.
Okay, jokes about rape, that's a challenge, you know.
Yeah.
And you know what happened to me that night? They introduced me with the song when they called my name. They introduced me with the song. They introduced me with the song with a la 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 long, a la 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 long, 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 long. You know that song?
Yeah, banger.
And it hit me. And I said to them, have you guys, I said, I don't want to be introduced by this song because this song is amazing when you're inebriated.
Yeah.
But have you ever heard the lyrics when you're straight, when you're sober?
Yeah, right.
It's a song about rape.
Oh, is it?
Well, that's how I interpret it. Because
oh my gosh.
It starts with an a cappella line. I've been watching you. And then he starts swinging his dick. A la 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 long, a la 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 long, 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 long. Because if you listen to the words, what does he say? He goes, girl, I'm going to make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, help, I'm going to push it some more.
Oh, there you go.
You know?
Yeah. I've never
now this
listened
poor
to
woman is raped. She's on the streets. Cops asking, can you identify your rapist? And all she can say is, yes, it was a la 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 long, a la 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 long.
Oh my gosh.
So that's the joke I did.
Right, yeah.
After that song was introduced. Because they said don't do anything about rape.
Yeah.
But when after I was done, the guy said, all right, that was fun.
Okay.
Because that was funny. That was good.
Right.
So because I think what they meant was like, you know, not to describe the mentality of a rapist, for example, how much pleasure or whatever they get, and if they find it funny or things like that, you know. But playing around with it, I just wanted to test the limits in Bahrain.
Right.
And when I did that, they said, no, you're cool because you're staying away from the major things. But that was funny because you related it to a song, which could be misinterpreted for anything, and they thought that was creative.
Right.
I was like, phew. You know, but okay, enough rape talk.
Yeah.
I mean, we hear Trump's voice every day, so we don't want to talk about it no more.
Yeah.
Now, you are based in Melbourne.
Yes.
You are Greek Australian.
Yep.
Yasu.
Yeah.
So, when was the pivotal moment when you said to yourself, you know what, comedy is what I want to do?
It's a good question. I think so I went to this clown school. I've already been an actor for about 5 years.
Yes.
I went to this clown school and I came back, and it was actually the fact that we were performing every day at this clown school, like all day, kind of like you would be at school, like a primary school, right? But you're just doing performing. And then on Friday, you have the big kind of test. You have this like sort of like Friday afternoon exam in front of the whole school. And then you get home to Australia, and I'm going back to getting like an audition maybe once every 2 weeks.
Okay, cool.
And then, that could be for an ad, it could be something, but it's not really like what you want to be doing. Or you might get an ad for like a play once a month or something like that. And if you get a play, once or twice a year, you're performing for like 3 months of that year for very little pay. And it just got to a point where I was like, you know what? The opportunities are so few and far between that I actually think I'd like to be on stage more. I was just hungry. So then going up to open mics was just an opportunity to kind of like almost just perform generally, not necessarily do stand-up. And I was kind of doing more alt stand-up at the start. But I just wanted to be up on stage, just always up on stage. Because it was like sort of feeding this hunger that I've developed. And then that turned into doing a bit more kind of stand-up, because then I was doing a lot of stand-up rooms and being the weird guy on the stand-up lineups. And then I think over time it sort of turned into me doing sort of more normie stand-up. But I caught myself going, no, I don't want to be doing that kind of normie stand-up. And then I started doing a lot of improv stand-up, led to doing crowd work, did some tours with some friends, opening for them overseas. And then that's when I was landed in Edinburgh. We were going to do this show, which was like a stand-up storytelling show for free at 1:15 a.m. in Edinburgh Fringe above a pub. No one came the first night, of course.
1:15 a.m.
1:15 a.m.
In Adelaide, everybody's in bed by 10.
Exactly. So this was at Edinburgh Fringe. So I think we were trying to rationalise, well, everyone's up late, and they weren't up that late. But then my only two mates who came were both from the clown school, and they said, show us what you were going to do tonight rather than we'll use the time because you paid for it. Like, okay, well, I was going to do this, tell this story about COVID. And they went, yeah, okay. Anything good? And I was like, oh, I've actually been doing this character where it was kind of like making fun of someone in like this workshop we were doing. And it's about making fun of other people, but doing it in a way that's sort of like satire. And I was making fun of this other actor in the course who had this meltdown, but he's being very rude to the teachers, saying like, well, I'm not getting it, but you're not telling me how to be better, and I've paid for this course and stuff you guys, on this big meltdown. And then I was up on stage next, and I got up and like sort of, because I've been an actor for so long, I sort of brought my own sort of alter ego out of like all the things I wanted to say to a casting director, but was sort of also doing an impression of this guy who'd just been up, and it was so much fun. Everyone was laughing so much. And anyway, fast forward, then a couple of months later, we're at Edinburgh. My mates go, what do you want to do that's actually fun? I go, well, I've got this actor character who's a real brat, but it's so much fun to do. And making him an idiot's good. Why didn't I come out and do that? And came out and pretended to start auditioning for the two guys. And no matter what they said, I would take it the wrong way and then try and make a scene out of it. And they were like rolling on the floor, just two of them in the audience. And they were like, this is incredible. You have to do this.
Wow.
And then so from then on, that whole month that we had, 1:15 a.m. above a pub in Scotland, going down to the courtyard downstairs and getting all these drunk Scottish teenagers to come up, and me just like improvising every night around an actor in an audition having the worst night of his life, became what the show I toured for 2 years.
Wow.
Virtuoso.
Yeah, that's the name of the show. You did Virtuoso. Now, it must feel more gratifying to make critics laugh than it is to make an audience laugh, because the audience is there for the comedy. Critics are there to see how good you are or how bad you are. And that's why I don't like always performing open mic on open mic night, because all the comedians are there. So the crowd is comedians. It's
the toughest crowd you perform in front of.
And I don't want to always perform in front of comedians. I want to feel the different vibe. So to have that happening, that must be it's like your pass. You made it. If you made us laugh, you're going to kill the crowd. Yeah,
it is. It's probably the toughest bar, because also like it's kind of like making a film in front of other filmmakers. They're all sitting, I wouldn't have done that. Okay, interesting. No one's there just being like, wow, that was fun. I actually think with the judges though, and like judges and critics, I think with my experience now, I've done it for like 2 or 3 years of just doing solo shows at festivals. Now I've got the benefit of experience, which is reminding myself that, hey, they're people too.
Yeah. And
so just performing to the people that they are as audience members, rather than performing to them as a critic is really important. Because I think the producer in us, because when you're an independent artist, you have to be a producer, you have to be the artist as well. If the artist walks on stage, he doesn't care if you're a reviewer or you're just an audience member, if you've got no money and you paid your last cent to get here, or if you're super rich and you're sitting front row and judging. He just wants to make them laugh. But the producer who's been processing all the tickets, who's been flyering outside, he's the guy, if he walks on stage, that part of me walks on stage and he's going, oh crap, they're the reviewer. No, make them laugh. Okay, go to them. No, don't do that. He's such a stress head, that guy. So he needs to be left in the change room. Does that make sense? He needs to be left in the green room.
Because he's thinking about the things that the performer is not thinking about.
Exactly.
So everybody has their little function when putting together a show.
Yeah. Exactly. And he's got a function, but we need to leave him behind. Because
keep that person away from the person who's on stage.
Yes.
100%.
And I think the only way I can do that is literally like picturing myself as two almost different people. You talk about the split personality. That's probably where it's a reality. I'm like, I need to do all the flying, then I need to like totally leave that guy behind. And then even I had a little ritual one year when I was just literally would say, thank you so much. You can stay here. And I turn around and then it'll allow me to go in and just be like, wow, great. 40 people. I get to perform to you guys as the artist, cool. Which is fun.
So, I'm no doubt. Now, you graduated in 2017 at the National Theatre Drama School.
Yeah.
Okay. But you later heavily moved into stand-up and character comedy.
Yeah.
Now, who would you say are those that inspired you to want to take up acting?
It's a good question. I think I was always actually inspired by comedic actors. Yeah. I didn't quite know it, or I didn't think that it was possible to then pursue that. So I went to drama school being like, oh, I really like comedic acting, but guys, Rowan Atkinson, Sacha Baron Cohen, so Borat, and like Monty Python, Three Stooges, these kind of guys.
A lot of your comedy is physical comedy, correct?
Yeah.
Is it also facial expression type comedy?
Hugely.
Like the first thing I thought of when I was reading about you, like this guy must be a Jim Carrey fan.
Yeah.
Because Jim Carrey used to spend hours upon hours in front of a mirror.
Yeah, right.
Perfecting certain facial expression.
Yeah.
And so that he would use in his comedy.
Yeah.
And his physical way is also next level stuff.
It's so wild, isn't it?
Like Rowan Atkinson, he will make you laugh just from his face alone.
Yeah.
Without saying a word. He can do something with an expression. You can give a Mr. Bean face or whatever, and you're laughing. I mean, that's a talent that it's very rare for anybody to have.
He's someone who probably is he's probably one of my goats, I think.
Oh, he is.
Just because and of course Mr. Bean is so universally revered because of like the no dialogue factor. So in Africa and
it's like
in India,
a Charlie Chaplin type thing.
He's huge, right? Yeah. But then also some of his other work, it's just like he's got this Rowan Atkinson Live special. You've seen that one?
Many times.
It's like from the 80s, and it's like a collection of all his best nights.
I think it's from 1990 itself.
Oh right, right.
Where he starts off playing the devil.
Yes,
and then
he just does all these like sketches.
Yeah,
and some of those sketches are just genuinely genius.
They are.
I just think, and I remember watching them as like a kid, as like a 13-year-old, and just being like, "What is this? This is amazing." And I think that's the sort of stuff that really, that and like Faulty Towers, this kind of stuff is the stuff that I just grew up and just had it hooked to my veins. Just was constantly watching. Yes, John Cleese, and that writing, and also just finding it so fun that he could yell at someone and it was hilarious. Yeah, because we weren't threatened.
I think
by
it's also
it.
the way the accent as well. The British accent can be hilarious, especially when somebody's losing it. Yeah. And John Cleese is a funny looking character.
Oh yeah.
He's tall, he's domineering.
Yeah, he's kind of balding.
But he can also act he can act incredibly mean, very sarcastic and terrified if he wanted to.
But he's also the smallest man in Faulty Towers. He's huge. He's like 6'5" or whatever. Yeah. But he's the smallest man in terms of like emotional stature. He's always yelling at people, but you never feel like he's ever got control. No, and I think that is just so brilliant.
It's brilliant. It is.
Yeah.
Red Dwarf and Blackadder. I think they all fall in the same lines of type of comedy.
Yeah.
And I don't think they get as much praise as they should. And people need to know about these big time.
I think so.
But the Rowan Atkinson Live, like you, I used to watch it religiously.
Yeah?
Yeah, I used to memorize a lot of it. Yeah, I think one of my favorite one was the biblical times. about the brother, the king, and they had all these different types of kings.
That is so funny.
I think that's one of my favorite ones. The one where he keeps falling on his knees.
Yeah, he keeps Oh man, I think that informed a lot of this actor character. I didn't even know. It was like literally 20 years ago. I was watching this thing.
How many characters did he play in that one sketch? He played the king,
exactly.
different types of king. He played the hero. He played the villain. He played the mate.
All as that bad actor who was the local actor. They went to at the start the intro. He's like, we wanted to get the best actor we could. He was unavailable, so we got the local actor. Here he is, and it's this guy having his moment, and he's terrible. Oh man, it's so.
That's right. It was supposed to have Jeremy Irons.
Yeah. But he was unavailable, so we've got the local theater actor, and he comes out and he's so proud and ethereal.
And he's got the tights on and everything.
Oh man, it's incredible.
I think that how they put it down to the detail. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Rowan Atkinson live, you don't know what you're missing. Get on it, stream it right now. Actually, download it. I don't think it's available for streaming. But download it.
It's on YouTube, and it's so funny because clowns are popping up everywhere. I'm not sure if you've noticed in the comedy scene, everyone's sort of like realizing the value of talking to the audience and how being alive on stage is really important for comedy. And so a lot of people are doing little clown workshops now, and a lot of stand-ups are sort of getting into it. But he's someone who was doing it from 80s, 90s, and was so good, and is still one of the GOATs today.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think if you're sort of getting into clown, or you're interested in clown, and you think like, oh, is it just like red nose stuff? Watch that special, and all of that stuff is kind of sketch character clown. And I think you get a much better appreciation for what I think a lot of people in the clown scene are trying to achieve. Yeah.
Now, Casey, your breakthrough show was Virtuoso. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was my debut one, my first one.
All right. Now, it's a one-man character comedy about a delusional actor named, if I'm going to say this correct, Tobias Finlay Fraser?
Yeah.
Tobias.
That's it, yeah.
Tobias Finlay Fraser, chasing fame. Well, aren't we all?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, who's Tobias based on? Is it based on you personally?
Yeah. I mean, kind of like the story I told before, where he's actually kind of like an amalgamation of all the workshops I've done as an actor, all the drama school. There's always someone in the school who thinks they're above everyone else, but is still swimming around in the shit just like everyone else. They're on the same level, but they think they're above them. And I'm sure I've been that person in some time, at some point in time. So it was a nice kind of way to make fun of myself, but also it was kind of like universal. Anyone who's ever been to a drama school has seen this guy.
Yeah.
Anyone who's ever been roped along to a play that their family member's doing has been watching this guy being like, oh my God, this guy's a hot mess. And it's so bad that when you talk about you want to get out of the theater, but when you go home, you are laughing so much with your family about how bad that guy was.
Yeah.
Remember that? And he thought he was so good. That's the worst part about it.
I feel bad for those kinds of people. I have sympathy for those kinds of people.
Yeah, I think I've been around them too long that I'm like, oh, this needs to be a thing. This needs to be this needs to be kind of like put out into the general public.
So somebody that's untalented but thinks he's got something is trying to make it kind of thing.
Knows he's got something.
Yeah.
He's so convinced.
Yeah.
And the only reason like his catchphrase is, my name is Tobias Finlay Fraser, but you already knew that, didn't you? And the irony being that no one knows who I am.
Yeah.
And this is my debut show as well. I wanted to walk out there and be like, I know you guys are all here for me as a big name. And like everyone's like, wait, who's this guy?
Who is this guy? Yeah.
So it's like kind of fun playing against that. And I've had a couple of reviews in the last year being like, we can't wait for the next show of Tobias. Hopefully when he gets a role or gets an award or something. And I don't think he can get an award, because if he wins, then we all lose, right?
Yeah,
he needs to keep losing.
No. It's like your alter ego, right? It was like, Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
Who played Tony Clifton.
Yes.
Tony Clifton, who thinks he's the greatest singer-performer ever.
Perfect example.
And he gets on stage and, who is this asshole? He's insulting everybody. He's not talented. He's got a horrible voice, So So that's kind of similar.
So there are elements of me, like, and younger self particularly, like where you have to believe as a performer that you're going to be the one that breaks through. In drama school, the National Theatre, the first one I went to, there was about 15 people in our class. And in the third year, they sat us down and they said, just so you know, guys, by 5 years' time, 2, maybe 3 of you will still be in the industry.
Okay.
In 10 years' time, there'll be 1.
Wow.
And it's so funny because everyone sitting there goes, well, I know it's going to be me. Who else is it? Who else is it in 5 years? And I think if you're not sitting there thinking that, I don't think you have a chance, because you've got to have some level of delusion to believe almost like your own talent before other people cotton onto it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So but then to take that and reflect on how many times I would have been like to my family, you got to come to the show, I'm brilliant. And they come along and watch a 3-hour Shakespeare and like their eyes are falling out of their head. Like that's kind of like, that's got some sort of level of honest beauty, vulnerability in it, but also is so ridiculous. For that guy to like, you'd be wasting everyone's time for 3 hours and turn around and be like, wasn't that brilliant? Like,
No, I totally get what you're saying. They did the same thing to us at film school. When we graduated at film school, they said to us, most of you are going to come back and do a different degree. None of you are going to be filmmakers in 10 years' time. And I was like, that's not going to be me for one specific reason. I just spent $5,000 on a brand new camera. I'm going to make this my freaking profession, whether I want to or not. You know what I mean?
Commit one way or another.
I figured, you know what? If I'm going to go all in financially, I got to make something out of this.
Oh, good on you. Yeah.
So, and I used to just make videos for anybody. I had a friend who was a rapper and he wanted a video. I made him a rapping video.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, I did things for everybody for free. You know, I was like, nah, I'm going to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And I even made my own film. All right? And on the strength of that one film that I made on a budget of $300 back in 2007.
Wow.
I made a 48-minute feature with using my friends as actors who've never acted before. And some had some experience, but most of them didn't. It got the attention of a television studio in Bahrain that called me, and 3 months later they flew me out there, and which I won those 2 awards.
And then we're sitting here with these. Yeah. Incredible, dude.
All from a film that I made because I couldn't get work. No one's going to hire me, right? Especially a fresh college student. They're not going to hire somebody. They want somebody with experience, you know? And so I said, you know what, fuck it. I did my own experience. Now I've got international experience. And now that I'm back, I'm still not qualified.
But what is a qualification in the arts, right? It's only experience.
At the end, I don't care. At the end, I'm doing my own thing. I got my own business now, so I'm happy with that. And
it's a perfect example of like, if you didn't believe that they've put in so many hurdles on the way, right? $300, 45-minute feature.
It is so filled with obstacles. It is so filled with, it is actually, it's like you're doomed to failure. You know what I mean? It's
Unless
like you are doomed
to
failure. I know what you're trying to do, but you're just not going to get there. Now, I didn't reach the heights that I wished to have achieved, but I didn't burn out. You know, I didn't disappear into the ashes and went back to uni and did another degree. Like many others did.
Well, that's it. When someone says to you, looks you in the eye and goes, this isn't going to work. Like there are 2 types of people. There are people who go, okay, fair enough. Arguably smart people who then go and like do something that's got more security or earn them a paycheck. But then there's people who go, fuck you. I'm going to do this.
I'm going to do it out of spite now.
Out of spite. And then they use that. And then, here you go. That's incredible.
I mean, look, all this means is that I really loved my job and I put so much effort into it. That's all it means.
I love that.
You know what I mean? That's all it means. Like anybody can win an award. Awards don't mean shit. It just says more about your character than it does about what you've achieved.
I like that.
Determined and never giving up, you know?
That's good, like a token of your dedication.
Yeah, no, because I also did writing. I'm a writer. And I am working on a pilot episode for a particular person. I'm actually writing a pilot episode of a sitcom. It will be a TV series because it's not going to be filmed in front of a live studio audience. But so far, so good. And
Great.
The characters in it are amazing. It's based on a particular person who was once famous in real life. He's still famous, but not as famous as he once was. So we're seeing that part of it. It's about a real person, but with fictitious things about this person. Okay. Like I've taken away things that actually happened in reality, but I alternated it for the sake of a TV series.
Right.
So
cool.
You know, it's him, but a different version of him.
Okay.
But it's still him.
Cool.
So yeah, and since you're an actor, I might let you read for a part.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Now, as an actor, now you chose to do physical type comedy, right? What made you want to make that distinction from being that type of comic to a regular stand-up comic who just gets up on stage and tells jokes or tells stories? What made you want to do physical more? What made you lean towards that?
Yeah, more character stuff.
Yeah.
I guess the fact that I felt like I had so much more to offer than just getting up and just using one aspect of my instrument, which is like the voice and storytelling, which I love storytelling so much. And when it's done well, there's arguably no greater art form. I just think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But the amount of times you get up and it's okay, or the amount of times I would get up and be like, yeah, I've told this story about 12 times now and I'm a bit bored. I think it's so important that you're not bored if you're going to create an imaginative experience for other people. If you then sort of start going like, yeah, and then I did this and how crazy. If your heart's not really in it, then I think you're a bit dead in the water. So I found that after a little while, maybe a couple of years, I was sort of getting to that point. And then I decided to just embrace that, hey, I've got all this acting experience. That's when I feel like I'm at my best.
Yeah.
Is when I'm fully engaged. I'm doing a character. I'm doing silly voices. And it got to the point where I did the clown school for the second time. I came back and I went, you know what? Like I just need permission from one person in this sort of, because I'm doing a lot of stand-up nights as the weird guy. And I went to my mates who are lovely. There's two lovely room runners. And they're like, how was clown school? And I was like, oh, it was great. And they're like, you doing some of that tonight? I'm like, well, I've got it in my bag. I was going to do stand-up, but I've got it in my bag. And both of them went, incredible. Get it out, the costume. Let's do it. And I think it's one of those moments where like being accepted by your peers is so important.
Yeah.
And like that night, it was funnily enough, it was a full audience. It was a really tough night. And I came out as the character and everyone was just like, this is so different. What's this? And it ended up being like a real highlight and like broke the room, which is really nice. So have those formative experiences of doing something different, but it being received well. And I think that's when it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, this is affirming. Because, you know, you do it in Europe and everyone's kind of more open to sort of different things potentially. And you come home and then people think comedy is stand-up comedian berating audience, then doing jokes. And then the fact that I was like, oh no, people are keen for something new. They just don't know because they've never seen clown before. Was really cool.
No,
it was really cool.
It definitely sounds cool. But do you think the awkwardness is one of the most powerful tools in comedy?
Yeah. Tension.
Yeah.
Tension. I think I play with that a lot. I think it's funny because in the context of a Fringe, I come out and I deliberately bomb at the start of the show. I come out and I put my stuff down. I do a spin. I do this shitty little like him doing like a kind of thing. Which the character thinks it's going to break the room and everyone's going to go, wow, amazing. But then the whole idea is everyone looks at me and goes, what? I think at a Fringe, everyone thinks, oh crap, we've walked into a shit show. No, we've made the wrong decision. Oh no. But then what's fun is then winning them back over the course of the hour. And you get to know this character and then we refer back to that start. And it's like this big kind of like, oh my God, that's what he was doing. And we're like, oh my God, we remembered when that tension was there from the start.
Yeah.
So starting with that tension, it's a bit risky, but I love doing it because then it really, at the 40-minute mark when we bring it back, it's the biggest payoff of the show. One of the biggest like,
that's what makes the audience laugh so hard.
Yeah. Because it's like, we were like, oh, we weren't sure, but then he caught us last second. It's like the slips catch, you know?
Yeah. No, that would be fun to see actually.
Yeah.
You know, now you've performed in Fringes, you performed regular open mic and so forth.
Yeah.
Now, do Fringe audience differ from city to city, or is awkward comedy kind of universal?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
I think awkward comedy is universal. However, I think if you, I spent about 6 months doing open mics in Paris, and I found that was a lot of international travelers who would come to Paris and then they'd be in the crowd. So they're speaking their second or third language, so listening to you, and then the sort of like Australian or British kind of like the subtext would be missed in a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
So because they're just working on a more of an auditory level of just like, oh, this is my third language. He said he went to the park. So he's at the park. You know, there wasn't any kind of like subtext that we were getting around. We thought we was talking to a dog, but he was talking to his friend or something like that. It was just like, no, he's at the park and there was a friend. It's like, oh, you're supposed to think I was talking about a dog or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like things were kind of missed in a way, but that's why physical comedy or bringing things in that aren't just words can be so vital in different demographics or different places around the world because it, you know, an eyebrow raise is universal. You know what I mean? Like it's, whereas witty comedy with just words can be missed.
Okay. No, I'm sure it can. Now, you trained as an actor first. Now, what did acting school teach you that stand-ups don't often learn?
That it's not always your fault. I think like being a part of a team is something I think stand-ups miss. I think the collaborative nature of what we're doing, even though it's just you on stage, it's actually you and the audience. And I think a lot of stand-ups, when it's not going well, and I've been guilty of this as well, is thinking, oh my God, they're against me. And it's this fight, like a tennis match, as opposed to we're actually all in this together and I'll lead us as like kind of like an ensemble.
Yeah.
I think like sort of like coming from that and playing team sports growing up, it was very, very vital for me in my process now. When you see other stand-ups who have just started with stand-up, and you can tell it's like they're kind of caught in their own heads, and sometimes they forget to include others, or they forget to come out of themselves and make the show about everyone rather than just themselves doing the jokes. And you talk to sometimes these people who are in the dressing rooms who might still be in that mode, and you're like, hey, how you going? You have a chat, and they kind of have a chat with you, but in a level of like, I need to go, or I need to do this, or I need to.
Do you think it's like an ego thing?
I think it's just like because you're constantly thinking of your own jokes, you're constantly thinking of your own career, you're looking out for yourself all the time. Sometimes that can become like a selfish mindset, but not in a way where it's like, oh, you're selfish or bad. It's just like you have to look out for yourself a lot. But I think when you're a part of an acting troupe, when you're part of like a sports team, you're like, I'm playing right back, or I'm playing a certain position, or I come out and I do this role, and it's part of the greater artistic premise that we're building. Or the show. And I think that's really healthy to take your ego away.
Yes, that sounds very healthy. I think having acting skills is one advantage to have to being a stand-up.
Yeah.
Especially if you're either going to do impressions or reactions to what you might hear, because I think what I really admire most about actors is like, whether you're watching a sitcom or a movie or whatever, when somebody is when you hear news, whether it's embarrassing or frightening or awkward, the reaction they give to that being either terrifying or funny or awkward, how the hell they nailed that reaction? That is the perfect reaction for that scenario. How the hell did you get that? I took an acting class, like just an intro to acting, and the guy gives us he reads a line from a book. He reads a word from a book, and that word is your reaction. Mischievous. Give me a mischievous face. So, you do what you think you can to give a mischievous face. And it's like, wow. Because like, you watch these and like, that's why, oh shit, I know I don't have what it takes.
Yeah.
Because how the hell do they nail that so well?
Yeah, right.
There's just so much that we do not know about
right.
acting. We think, okay, just if you can cry, that doesn't make you an actor. That just makes you very emotional that you could cry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But can you cry at the right moment, at the right thing? That's what...
Connection to that.
Exactly right. Which makes me want to ask you this question. So do actors make better comedians, or does comedy require a totally different muscle?
I think it's got transferable skills, but I don't think you can just good actor equals good comedian.
No.
I think it's the same way like good student doesn't make good teacher.
Yeah.
Like you've never been to uni and then the guy gets up and he's like the expert in blah, blah, blah. But he gets up and you're no, and you're falling asleep within 5 minutes. And he's like, well, I've written the book and it's the text. And it's one of those things where teaching is a skill in itself. Yeah. So communicating to an audience is a skill in itself. I think being present in the moment is a particular skill. And some actors have it, some actors don't. Some stand-ups have it, some stand-ups don't. Like you see like someone like Chris Fleming, the stand-up, he's like even you can tell over the news feed when you're watching him, you can he screams out of the phone that he's present and he's following impulses and it's very alive. Whereas that's not necessarily the case for a lot of performers. So yeah, I think there are some great things that I've learned from acting, which is all about being in the moment and having fun being in the moment, committing as well, particularly if you're a character comedian doing one character for 1 hour, you've got to jump in and dive in. And then that has fruits at the end. If you commit and people go, oh, we've come to love you by the end. Yeah. If they weren't on board at the start. Whereas maybe for stand-up, it's maybe you sort of, you might do it for a couple of minutes and then be like, okay, I don't want to be that vulnerable. I want to go back to the next joke. Yeah. Where it's just taught me about like, there's pursuing something bigger in terms of a big dream has bigger results.
Yes.
Than just like eating lots of little Mars bars along the way. You'll still be hungry, whereas you cook for about an hour and a half and you have this big home cooked meal that'll satisfy you for the rest of the night, that kind of thing.
Okay, that's a very good analogy. Now let's have some fun here. I'm going to give you a fun wildcard question here.
Sure.
If you had to perform for one audience forever, would it be drunk Brits, drunk Scottish, drunk Irish, drunk Aussies, or theatre critics or toddlers?
Far out. For some reason, toddlers seems really fun. I think I'd go the drunk Scots because I've done it and it's awesome.
The Scottish win again.
And also like the Scots and the toddlers they're not too dissimilar. When people get drunk and they drink. We've got a rap for drinking in Australia, but I go over there, I'm like, you guys really drink. And they'll let you know if you're not going well. They'll start chatting if you're not fully engaging them. They'll yell out if they think they're funnier. They'll like almost like throw down the gauntlet. I remember hearing Billy Connolly talk, and he's like,
"Oh God!"
Grew up in Glasgow, and he's just like, "Yeah, you're jumping up on stage, and when you're doing that, you're pretty much saying to everyone, look, I'm the funniest guy in this room, and if you're not for a second, then they would jump on you and start yelling things out and like give you a hard time. Yeah. So what a great training ground for always keeping the power in the room and always keeping the attention. So." I mean, I love going to Edinburgh. I love the Scottish audiences. So I've got to lock that in.
Billy Connolly is, he's a person I could just laugh at from his accent alone.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's a funny person, he's a funny comic, but just if he was to play a dramatic role, I'll probably still laugh. Because I love the accent so much. It's so strong, it's so thick.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not laughing at the Scots. It's just the way he speaks. He gets me every time.
So like beautiful and silly, you know? Like,
oh God, I forgot his name. There's an Indian comedian. He's not huge yet. He's not famous, but he's getting there. And his jokes are amazing. But I can't help but think, would they still be as funny without that thick Indian accent?
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? Like if a non-Indian told that joke, would it be funny? I get that's I get that's the moment that comes when you can say to yourself, I own this joke.
Yeah,
because
right.
Nobody can say it the way I can say it. Nobody can deliver it the way I can.
Where you find that unique like voice. But then it's funny because like you totally, I hear what you're saying, but then also you can be like, it works so perfectly for his voice and he's fine-tuned it for his own comedic voice. Like some of the best clowns I've ever seen are from Scandinavia because they've got this amazing like almost abrupt cadence when they speak English, and it's kind of like always jolting and surprising. So it works great for comedy because it's like so direct. And you're like, whoa, I didn't expect that, and it just makes you laugh so much.
I guess that's the perfect. I guess that's a great example of, let's say I've written the best joke in the world.
Yeah,
but it might not be as funny coming from one as it would from somebody else.
It's a great thing about comedy. That's why I love it so much.
Right? So like, I could have gold, but I'm turning it into crap because I just can't make that gold work. I can't sell the gold. It's like I can't sell water to somebody dying of thirst.
Yeah.
There's something wrong here. I gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
So because there are just some people that can just tell it naturally and it'll be great. And like take Bobcat. That guy the comedian Bobcat. He was in all those Police Academy films.
Oh yeah,
the guy that had
all the voices and stuff.
The way he speaks though. I had no idea until I was a teenager that was his actual voice. He just exaggerated that in the Police Academy film. But that's his actual voice. Wow. So when he tells a joke coming from his voice, nobody could tell that exact same joke coming from a regular person's voice.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's what makes it unique, and I guess that's what makes it their own personal individuality.
Yeah.
This is a Bobcat joke, or this is an Eddie Murphy joke, or this is whoever joke.
Yeah.
They own it because nobody can have said it.
It feels like it's honestly coming from their reality, doesn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Like rather if I came out and started talking about stuff that everyone's watching me going, I don't think that guy really got stepped in a dog poo on the way or whatever it is, then it was sort of like you've lost our trust and there's no honesty in it. But if I come out and I'm like a hot mess and I'm talked about sleeping in my car that day or something and everyone goes, I believe that. Yeah. Oh my God, this guy's actually experienced that. That's so funny.
See, those are the people that could sell sand to somebody living in a desert.
Yes.
And I'm trying to be that person because I can't sail to save my life. But that's the talent. Yeah. Okay, another fun question. If you could perform your comedy for any audience in history, which time period would you choose?
I think I'd go the ancient Greeks. Or like,
That's a good one.
yeah, I think I'd go.
I haven't had
like,
that answered before.
I'd love to see like Socrates trying to figure out what I was trying to get him to do with audience interaction or something like that. That would be incredible.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? Like,
if he had all these philosophers, if he had Socrates and Plato and Pythagoras all in one, that would be your audience.
and me trying to like, just like, go over to them and get them to be a scene partner or something, getting up on the stage and seeing if they would just like be silly and commit or if they would be very sort of ethereal. Because it's kind of funny when you're doing this clown stuff because you get to see people as they are as kids, how they play, what they would be like as a 5-year-old. So I'd love to see those guys sit in front row and me doing my bullshit and seeing how they.
So far, that's my favorite answer so far because I've asked this question so many times. That's got to be one of my favorite ones. That'd be terrific. Oh wow! Again, I can't get over that great answer, which leads us to the existential part of the podcast.
Okay.
And you talked ancient Greece. You can't get more existential than that, unless you were a person from the Orient who's got deep history in existentialism. Now, I'm going to start off with an easy one to get into the deep ones, but something to break the ice. Casey, what happens when we die?
Consider the ice broken. What happens when we die? Geez.
This is not a religious question. I'm asking you personally. What do you?
Yeah, no, and I'm thinking. I'm trying to go from that point. I don't know. I think there's a beauty in not knowing. I do like to think of when I think of more of when my family members die, when my people I love die. I think they genuinely live on in us.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I've thought that much about myself dying, actually. I think I'm more anxious about my loved ones dying. So I think it's really important to spend time with them and then to, I don't know, just keep enjoying their memory when they're gone. I think that's kind of like what I've focused on.
Yeah.
I don't, maybe we go into a black void. Maybe we replay the life again. I mean, I love the idea of like we are reincarnated as someone else, something else.
Yeah.
But maybe we reincarnated in ourself again.
Look, I believe in reincarnation because I've been reincarnated as a poor Lebanese 7 lives in a row.
You gotta get me off this train. Oh God!
I haven't been lucked out to be reincarnated as a white person who doesn't have to work to make a living.
You're spinning the wheel of fortune, landing on the same
one every single time. That's why I don't ever win the lottery. You know what I mean? Because it's the same shit. It's like I'm doomed for this. Oh
my God!
That's cool. Now, when you play a character who are desperate for attention or validation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel like you're exploring parts of yourself?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think that's why it works.
Mm-hmm.
Is because it's honestly me engaging with the side of myself that we don't usually engage with or that we hide. It's not on Instagram or it's on Instagram, but we don't acknowledge it. And I think if I was to shy away from the honest, ugly parts of me, which I'm trying to bring out and then lay for all to see on the table, if that was all of my emotions barred the actual ones I didn't want to show, I don't think it would be as honest or as well received as it is. I think you've got to show the ugliness and that becomes beauty. Does that make sense?
No, it does. Very well said. So, C to the A thing. After enough time on stage,
do
you ever feel like the performer version of you becomes more real than the offstage version?
I think that it's easier to be the onstage version in a way after you've figured out the character because of what I just said, because of like you get so used to coming out and being like, this is the worst side of me, but I've made it as funny as I can, and you can laugh at that and laugh at me as a sort of cathartic experience for yourself, or just have fun with interacting with this hot mess of a man that you'd usually shy away from or want to get away from. This is a safe space for you to go, oh my God, I'm going to say that thing I've never always wanted to say to this person. I think that's really fun, and it can actually be something that's quite addictive as well, because you're like, oh my God, people really love that. And then when you leave and you take the costume off and you're yourself again, you sometimes put back on your own baggage or your own kind of like, oh, I hope people like me as a person. Whereas Tobias, he's already convinced everyone likes him, so he doesn't have to worry about that. He's liberated somehow. It's bizarre.
Okay. There's freedom in him.
There's freedom in his delusion, right?
Yeah.
And then you come back and then you're thinking about ticket sales and you're thinking, oh my God, I need to make money or whatever it is.
Okay. So, Mr. C. Phillips, do you think comedy exposes the absurdity of life, or does it make it easier to live with it?
I think it should do both.
Yeah?
I think it should do both. I think life is so absurd, and all my favorite, all the comedians we were talking about before are all so absurd, but there is all a great deal of humanity within all of their work. And that's something that I think is, I want to go to the theater and I want to go to comedy to see something that I couldn't imagine without this experience, but I want to be walking home going, oh my God, that hit home for me because it was like this, and this, things I could never describe or never thought about in that way, but it's so true.
Oh, wow, we're getting so deep in this. I'm loving it. All right, final question, Sir Phillips. When you imagine yourself as an old man looking back, what would make you feel like the whole comedy journey was worth it?
I think that if I made more people laugh, then I don't know what, it's a bit emotional actually. I think just bringing genuine joy to people really does mean a lot to me. And I think that if I can leave the world a little bit happier than what it was, than if I never existed, I think that's genuinely what I would like to do. Where I'm at the moment in my career, about two years in of doing solo work and doing festivals, I'm trying to transition into making money from it, like in a way I can live off and potentially, have a family off that. So that's something at the moment I'm kind of, it's at the front of my mind, but I don't know that's just a momentary thing though. That's never really been a big driver for me. As I keep saying to people who I talk to at parties, they go, oh, did you make any money from it? And I'm like, no, but that's not the point.
No, it isn't.
Which is, as you would know as an artist, right? But it's something I'm trying to become more attuned to, because I would like to keep doing this until I'm an old man.
Yeah.
And then I can look back and go, wow, like 30 shows. Awesome. But I'd like to be able to support my family through that. I think the old man, I made the transition from being worried and running away from the fire at the start of my career to now I'm running towards a goal. And what I mean by that is at the start of the career, I was worried that if I didn't work hard, I was gonna become bitter, not do what I wanted to do. And I'd be the old man who sits there going, yeah, comedy, I could have done that. No, I used to be good, but no, they wouldn't let me do it. I don't want to be that guy.
No.
And then, so I ran away from that idea. I'm going to do as much as I can because I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. But now, a couple of years in, I feel like I've maybe proved to myself I can do it. And so I've released that kind of sense of ego. And now it's more about running towards a goal. And it's much more positive, which is much more, I just can't wait to make these people laugh tonight, whether it's 10, 50, 150. It's just, and it feels like I feel very grateful now. Whereas before I think I was worried and that ego was still there. So I think the old man I would like to talk to, long-winded answer, but I would like to think that he was still grateful and still running towards a goal and not running away from a fire.
Well, there you go. That's why we call it the existential part of the
yeah, my God.
You know? And always during the existential part, I like to get creative with the names of the person I'm dealing with.
Yeah, I got Cersei at one point. Cersei Lannister.
And thank God I didn't have another question because I ran out of them. What to say next? Okay. Or Lord. Lord Phillips. Will probably be the next one. Okay. We're gonna play a game. It's called Wrong Answers Only.
Okay.
This is a good game because I want to see how the level of your creativity with these. As an actor and who's done improv, I'm sure you can give me some fun.
Oh, watch me bomb now. Here we go.
Okay. What's Sylvester Stallone's most successful movie?
Smooth Road.
Absolutely, because I've never heard of that at all. Yeah, definitely. Okay.
He did Rocky a few times, but then Smooth Road didn't. It just was way too.
I would have chosen Stop and Mumble Shoot.
Smooth Road didn't have any obstacles. He was like, I'm going to be a boxer, and they went, sure.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And it was very short. It was a short film.
Okay. What sound does a giraffe make when it orgasms? Finally, somebody gave me a sound effect.
Yeah.
One person answered a cat. Well, okay. Finish the following song lyric. I'll tell you what I want, what I really
want you to know about me is that I'm actually a nice guy.
Okay, that's the hit song.
That's a hit song.
That's the hit song. Nice guy, sung by 5 or 6 chicks. Okay, good. That's it. Now we know they're not chicks.
Yeah.
See,
There you go.
that song revealed a lot more than we had to.
Or it could be about their ex-lovers. You don't know.
What was the real reason that ignited World War II?
It was that Franz Ferdinand was actually still alive and he was starting to do open mics. And everyone was like, oh, I don't know about this. And then it came out that he was continuing to do stuff. And then Hitler was in one of the crowds as a young man. And Hitler was just like, this guy, what the fuck is this? He was so mad. He went back to do paintings. Mm-hmm. They were all gone from his house. Someone had stolen all the paintings in his house. And it was actually Franz Ferdinand because he tried to do crowd work with Hitler. Hitler gave him nothing. Franz Ferdinand's like, I'm going to find where you live. And yeah, so that's what started it. Comedy turned to tragedy. Yeah. Unbelievable. So only the other way around. Okay. Why is Samuel L. Jackson in every movie ever made? Because Quentin Tarantino owes him money. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you think that's probably why they gave him the N-word free card? Yeah, I don't think they did, but I think he's forced that upon people. Okay. I think also Samuel L. Jackson being in the films is so Quentin can say, I've got a black friend. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it just feels cooler to have a black friend. Yeah, I think and that guy, what a hot mess of a human. One's got to be. Quentin Tarantino. All right, and the final wrong answer to this question is I like to ask everybody, Casey, how does one catch an STD? 2 hands, watch it right in there. Particularly if you're in first slip, you got to stand 1 step behind the keeper. Okay, see? Kids, take a note. All right. We have entered the final stage of the podcast where I'm going to ask you a series of 10 questions. Okay. These are not my questions. These are questions that were made famous by an American writer-actor named James Lipton. Okay. Who had a show called Inside the Actor Studio. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I can never mention James Lipton without mentioning his favorite journalist, a Frenchman named Bernard Pivot. So, ready to get started? I'm ready. Okay. Casey, what is your favorite word? Yeah. Like yeah or Barry White? Yeah. No, like yeah. Like I didn't consider that, but actually, let's go. All right, yeah. Cool. I like it. Yeah, let's get on with this. Someone turning a no to a yes in one word. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I got that. Yeah. What is your least favorite word? No. Yeah, it's the way it's said. It's the opposite. It's literally like I'm not even considering it. No. Yeah. Which I think it's like that symbolizes I'm not listening to you. I'm not taking you on board. Yeah. What turns you on? Someone who listens. Okay. Someone who listens. Cool. Yep. What turns you off? Oh, someone who doesn't listen. Someone who's in their own storyline more than they are there for others. That reminds me of something. What is your favorite curse word? No. Probably dingus. Okay. I call my mates dingus all the time. Is dingus considered as a curse word? Is it? If it's not, bleep it out in the movie. Is it not? Or the radio? No, probably not actually. That's okay. It's okay. Yeah, dingus is it? I'd probably say, yeah, dingus. Dingus. What sound or noise do you love? Sorry? What sound or noise do you love? My partner coming home and going, hey, which is, we still do it. We've been together. Is she Italian? No, she's not. Okay. She's Sri Lankan Australian. Okay. But we always, whenever she comes home from a day of work, I've been riding at home She's usually the first person I've seen all day, and she comes home, and I love it because it's kind of like we've been together for nearly 5 years, but it's still like you're seeing your best friend going,
Oh,
hey!
that's sweet.
Which, yeah, I think that's my favorite sound.
That is sweet. Okay. What sound or noise do you hate?
Sound of noise do I hate? Silence after a joke bombs.
Ooh, you can hear a pin drop.
The silence of a frown. I'm going to go lock in a silence of a frown. That silence where people go, I didn't get it. Fuck you, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very deafening, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I studied psychology for a year at uni before I went to drama school. I love psychology. But also recently, I think maybe being a chef. I love making food. Not necessarily that good at it, but like I just love the idea of preparing something with love, giving it to someone else, and that it's only for them to enjoy.
Perfect. That's a good one. What profession would you not like to do?
I think the most dangerous thing that you can do as a performer is to do something you think is still in the industry but isn't. And then, because then that breeds anger of like, no, I'm still here. Why aren't I getting opportunities? I'm an admin at a drama school or something like that. And you're still telling yourself that you're in the scene when you're not. And I think I've had to make a clear delineation over the years to be like, hey, I'd rather have a job that was, working at a cafe and was totally disconnected rather than something that was close enough that I thought I was involved, but then lying to myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does. I'm going to have to replay it so I can listen to it again because I wasn't paying attention. No, it does. It totally makes sense. Huh? All right. And finally, if heaven exists, and I think this is right up in your alley, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Didn't expect to see you here, but get in there.
Oh, sweet. Didn't expect. What did you do, Casey? All right. Well, that's it. If you want anyone in the audience who's watching this to take anything away from this particular podcast, what would you like for them to take away?
I'm a lot funnier than I am existential in my shows.
Okay. No, that's fine.
I think I've spent a lot of time digging deep into my existential crisis with you, which has been very nice. But my comedy is very silly.
That's the reason why I like to primarily interview guests on my show, comedic guests on my show, is because I want to see that different side that you don't get to see them on stage.
Oh, okay.
I do believe for most comedians, being on stage is part of their alter ego. They do come out of their shell and be somebody completely different.
Yeah.
Or they are the same, but with more confidence.
Yeah.
They own the crowd for the time that they're on stage.
Yeah.
And to have guests, comedic guests as guests, I get to see that side of them that many don't get to see. And people get to witness.
Yeah.
Whoever's watching, Kent. He's the only guy that's watching. I've only got one follower. No, that's not true. I've got many followers, but Kent is a devoted fan. He's watched every episode. So that's why I like to have you guys on. And I got to see, and I'm sure what I got to see you from here would be completely different if I saw you on stage.
Yeah, I reckon I would.
I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. I got what I wanted, which is perfect. Because I got to see many people. I've seen many people that were my guests. I've seen them on stage, and I've seen them one-on-one.
Cool.
And it's just, it's kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I love Al Pacino. If I had him as a guest, I'm not going to say, so what is your favorite food, mate? I'm not going to be like that. You know what I mean? I want to talk to the man himself and just get to know what he's like. You know what I mean? So that's the beauty of it. Anyway, thanks, Kent, and the others who joined to watch this episode of The Magic Hour. I've been your host, MagicLeb, a.k.a. MagicLeb. Follow me on my Instagram at Fame Film Agency. And click the subscribe button on at Magic and Dairy on YouTube. And follow Casey Filips on his Instagram right there on the screen. You've seen him in Adelaide. Go see him in Melbourne. Go stalk this man because he's the guy is as funny as can be. And he's got multi-personality disorder. So you might be thinking you're talking to a Casey Filips, but yeah, you're talking to a Casey
Box
Filips.
of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
And you don't know what you're going to get. All right, until next time, guys. Peace out.
I'm broke, bitch.